have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Thursday in the Doghouse. Not any Thursday. It's a Beat the Big Dog Thursday in the Doghouse, and we are back out at Corralejos, a Mexican restaurant. Once again, Corralejos will be featured on Zone Deals tomorrow, but you can win it before you can buy it here today. So come on in and see me, and the first couple of folks that do that, I'm going to buy you lunch. First couple of people that come on in and see me, I will take care of by taking care of your lunch. And also coming up a little bit later on today, it is the return of Beat the Big Dog. I have 6 big college games today, whereby one listener, this is not the Friday Trifecta, this is Beat the Big Dog. One listener gets through, and that one listener takes me on. And you get one shot at me a year. And if you beat me, you get Corralejos Chow plus a pair of tickets to the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl. Now, we also track the picks all season long to see if you, the cumulative listeners, can beat me, your host. We'll keep track of them all throughout the course of the season, right through the Super Bowl. Now, we made 143 picks last season, over 23 weeks. You guys beat me 9 times, which is a record, to be honest with you. And for the season, I was 77-66, which is not my best year, 11 games over 500. It's really not my best. While you guys were 74-68, so I got you by 3 games. However, I suffered a great indignity last year. For the first time in 18 years of Beat the Big Dog, my producer actually beat me.
You come at the Kings, you better not miss.
Chad, or as I like to call him, Grizz the Greek on this day. Grizz the Greek went 79-64, nipping me by 2 games on the season. And I'll be honest with you, this has devastated me. I mean, this is something that has been stuck in my craw for the 6 months since the Super Bowl. So my own personal redemption tour begins today. We'll do Beat the Big Dog coming up at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. As I said, we are here at Corralejos, and once again, they have done it again. They have made the best chicken quesadilla on the planet. I mean, I've been to a lot of Mexican restaurants. The chicken quesadilla with the refried beans that I had is absolutely amazing, and I just knocked one of those down. And by the way, there's a rumor that Captain Cool and the Junkyard Babe are coming by a little bit later on. She's in town for her Bible study, and she wanted to take Captain Cool to lunch. And I'll be totally honest with you, I completely forgot. I got so wrapped up in everything I was doing, I completely forgot that we were going to be out here at Corralejos today until Steve Moulton told me at like 9:30, I'll see you at Corralejos. And I'm like, okay, now that I know I'm going to be there. So I called my wife and I called Captain Cool, and I said, I'll be at Corralejos. And they said, we'll come by there. Because I've brought home in the past a shrimp quesadilla for my wife from Corralejos, but it's not like when it comes right off the grill. I mean, that's the thing. It's not like it when it comes right away. Now, in the meantime, today we're going to have Bucks coach Matt Patterson coming up in a few minutes to talk about his team's 42-25 win at Madison County last week to begin the year. Buckhorn travels to Helena this week to take on a really good Huskies team out of Region 3 that beat Chelsea last week by a score of 50-14. And speaking of Madison County, they are back on our air tonight. Steve Moulton has that game down at Milton Frank Stadium along with Scott Tyson. Steve is hanging out with me here for a couple of minutes as well because he's got a big one tomorrow night. We'll get to that in a minute. But, Steve, you get Madison County tonight. scrappy kids, hard-fought kids. They'll go hard all game long, and Lee on the other side, it should be a decent one.
Well, I was going to ask you for a scouting report from Madison County.
Yeah, 37.
Yeah.
37. I mean, that kid, 37, I mean, he does everything. I mean, I think he puts the lines on the field. I mean, that kid never comes off the field. Offense, defense, does a great job.
Kicker, too? I mean,
he does everything but he returns kicks. He's a kickoff returner. He is outstanding on defense as a safety. He is, there you go Hogs. He is Arkansas fan. And then he also is he's an outstanding wide receiver as well. He does a great job for them. They have a couple of very physical backs. They have one is they got a kind of a thunder and lightning thing going on at running back with their two backs. Matt Putman's son is the quarterback, and anytime you got a coach's son as quarterback, he's a bright kid. He's been around the game his whole life. They're scrappy kids. They're undersized. They're scrappy kids. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and I think it'll be an interesting game. I think it really will be an interesting game. It was a very physical game, and coming back to play on Thursday with really one padded practice probably between the game last Friday night and this game. I'll be interested to see how that cramping was an issue. Of course, it's a beautiful day today.
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous today. So I don't think we're not going to have cramping issues. We shouldn't have cramping issues. They had 6 or 7. We had the crampometer going in the second half last week. They had 7 cramps. Buckhorn had 6 in the second half of that game. 13 cramps in that game. But I think you got a decent one tonight.
So I know you have not introed your Greek yet.
No.
But I would like to ask your Greek a question on over-under how many times you said Madison Academy instead of Madison County.
Yeah.
And I want him to also, since he is the Greek, to set the number for me tonight on how many times I'm going to say Madison Academy when it's really Madison County.
All right, so
playing.
Grizz the Greek, put that on the text window, chat window there. What you think? How many times I said it, including when I started it. I didn't always, very rarely did I get the whole academy out. It would be like Madison County. Madison County. I don't know how many times I said it, but you've been the voice of Madison Academy for 7 or 8 years. I don't know how many Madison County games you've done in that period of time. I know of at least one.
They play every year. They play every year.
So you get them like once a year, but it is it'd be surprising if it doesn't come out of your mouth at some point in time tonight.
I usually go Mustangs and Tigers. I go
That's a good way to go.
That.
That's a good way to go.
But I am not going to say that I'm not going to say it tonight.
And we get Scott Tyson out of his studio.
That's right.
Tonight. He'll be on the
Sidelines.
call with you.
Yeah.
Is he going to do it from the sidelines?
That's
so
right.
you'll be in the booth and he'll be on the sideline.
That's right.
That's an interesting way to go. And then tomorrow night, of course, it's going to be a lot of fun. What has become a budding rivalry, the Madison Academy Randolph Raider game. And that we'll have that both on Zone 2 and Zone 3.
That's right, dueling broadcasts.
So people can bounce back and forth.
The hometown broadcast.
The hometown broadcast.
I guess Garth Road versus Slaughter Road.
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, Bailey Lowry and Drew DeArmond on the call for the Randolph Red Raiders, or the Randolph Raiders, I should say. And then, of course, you and you'll have your sidekick out there, Glenn.
That's right.
Glenn doing the game, for Madison
with
Academy.
his pom-poms.
He'll have his pom-poms, you think? With him?
He'll have his pom-poms. There's no doubt about that.
That's become a heck of a rivalry, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has.
Pretty good game. I don't know if Randolph's pretty good. Madison Academy, at least last week. You don't know. I'm a 3-week guy. So you get week 1. And then week 2, you want to see if what you saw in week 1 is real or not.
Yeah.
And then on week 3, you can make a determination whether the team is the team they were on week 1 or the team they were on week 2.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. I did not expect Madison Academy to go to Deschler and do what they did last week because Deschler was a pretty good football team last year.
I did talk to Coach Louis LeBlanc earlier today. Westminster Christian played Lee. I wanted to get his opinion on what he saw of Lee because it surprised me a little bit on the score itself, but wanted to ask him on how good Lee is. And he mentioned how few number of two-way players that Lee actually has and that they were very attacking on the edge as well.
Right.
Very dynamic team. So Lee could be a team to be on the lookout for a little bit of a run, not only in their region, but maybe a playoff run. But I know it's early. But you don't have those two-way players that help so much down the road.
But I do know this. Not that we want any violence, because we had some goofy stuff going on, flash mobs at Sparkman and causing. But if a fight were to break out, I would want the Lee coach with me. I mean, that guy's ready to rumble.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
don't want any kind of
during
goofiness.
our media day. Yes, we got to know all the coaches, and I want him in my corner.
That's crazy. By the way, speaking of Buckhorn, what a tremendous thing you guys did yesterday. We raised $920. I'm going to round that up to $1,000 from my donation for the Buckhorn Band. The show will now become a gold-level sponsor of the Buckhorn Band. I do not know if they are going to, in fact.
Wes actually had a request.
Yes.
He does not want you to become the band director, or he wants you to become a flag girl.
Yeah, I see. I don't want to be the band director. I'm not sure. My sister was a baton twirler, a majorette in the what do you call it?
So you do have a baton.
So we got
in the
a little.
house.
There's a baton somewhere in the house. She was a twirler in the Bishop Kearney Marching Kings. They traveled to Ireland. They went everywhere. But the band at my high school was unbelievable.
But Wes sees you more as a flag girl.
Yeah. See, I don't think I'm the flag girl. They don't. You know what else they don't do anymore? They don't have guns, rifles. I don't want to be critical. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying these bands, they have this
used to be a thing.
Remember they used to have the rifles?
Yeah.
Now they have this thing that looks like I don't know what it looks like. It's like a sickle. It's like it's in the kind of the shape of a gun, but it's got a bend in it, and it's wide at one end and narrow at the other end, but it's not a gun. It's like, okay, we're not gonna. I don't know if that's a.
Well, a handful of times I've
seen. Is it a woke thing? We're not gonna do a gun now. We can't.
I don't know.
I want to be the drum major. I want to come out high stepping. I want that staff. I'd be like the Alabama A&M band drum major coming out high stepping, all the way leaning back,
so
high stepping.
I need to call Dr. Bryant over at Alabama A&M and make this happen.
Yeah, I need to high
lead
step
the band out.
Yeah, maybe throw that thing up in the air a couple of times. You know what I mean? Do a couple of spinoramas.
Scott Tyson, I really hope you're listening to this right now.
I think I have that in me. I'm not sure. I hope I hit everybody. I started things out yesterday with a $100 bill of my own, and then Brandon came in for $100. Cody came in for $100. Harry came in for $100. Grumpy for $100. Karen and Barry did $150. Nick did $100. Nate did $100. Pizza awesome. Larry chipped in $50.
Man.
Grizz chipped in a $20 bill. Shane got in as well. I mean, it was amazing. It really was amazing. And I think that your guys, it was being 920, 930, something like that. Whatever it is, I'm rounding it up to 1,000, because at 1,000 you become a gold level sponsor. I really want to see my logo on the back of the.
So it's not the
truck.
Station logo.
Well, no, this was my show. This was the Thom Abraham Show. The Thom Abraham Show listeners
on
97.7 ESPN Zone, no doubt about it. But this is the show.
Wow.
Well, if Wes wants to kick in his matching funds or whatever, then we'll put the station out. We'll put the station logo. Well, the station logo is all over the place because we do the games.
Okay.
This is a band thing, and I'm trying to show my love for the marching.
All right, fair
Bucks.
enough.
You know what I mean?
Maybe
Maybe we'll put the logo. Well, the logo's in my logo, so maybe it'll be the Thom
maybe
Abraham
we could
Show
make
on 97.7.
the dog eyebrows 97.7 the zone.
I think there is a.
That's a demerit.
Yeah, no, this guy here. Oh, that's one of my fishing sponsors from 13 Fishing. I think
that's a demerit
that's
on me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Wolverine Dan.
Wolverine Dan.
Come on over to Corlejos. I'm on the air
come on
right
down
now,
to
brother.
Corlejos, Wolverine Dan.
Yeah.
Calling in on the show.
I'll call you back, brother. Or you just feel free to come on down to Corlejos.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. All right, so good job by those guys that did that. Now, after Beat the Big Dog today, Steve Merrill is in from Wager Talk TV to look at the big games this weekend, beginning with tonight's Florida at Utah game. I am fired up for that game. And with no Cam Rising, Florida, that game opened at 9.5, and is all the way down to like 4. In some places 3.5. It's at altitude. Look, they're the 2-time defending Pac-12 champions. If Utah can't beat a middling SEC team, I'm talking about a middle of the SEC East team in Florida. This is not Tim Tebow's Florida Gators. If they can't beat a less than 500 Florida Gator team, and you're the 2-time defending champions of the Big 12 or the Pac-12, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Utah should win this game. and it's a freaky place to play. Have you ever been out to the stadium at Utah?
I have not.
It's weird. It's weird. I went there. I did a Utah Blaze Arena football league game.
The motto when you go into Utah.
It's very weird.
It's weird.
It's very odd. Salt Lake is very odd. The roads are wide. There's people walking around with short sleeve shirts and ties that look weird. The whole thing is very, very odd.
Been in the basketball gym where the Jazz play, but that's about it.
No, the football stadium is up on a hill, and and
beautiful area. Though.
It is. It's gorgeous. It is a gorgeous area, but it's a little weird. It's a little weird. There's silos, so there's silos all over town. They're just these silos, and they're filled with grain. And I'm like, what are these silos and other food stuffs? And so I asked my brother-in-law. I said, what are these silos? The Mormons. It's the Mormons. They stored food all over the thing because they think they're going to be here after the rapture. And so they're going to be left. So they have their food for after the rapture. I mean, it's weird. And I'll tell you something else. I went into an Applebee's in Salt Lake with the coaches from the Vipers after we had played the Blaze. This was the year the Vipers were when they were the Alabama Vipers and they were in the AFL.
Yeah.
So we played the Utah Blaze.
I was your studio host that year.
Right. So we went into the Applebee's after the game, and we all ordered a frosty beverage. One beer. That's all. Just to kind of knock the edge off after a broadcast before we get on a plane to fly back the next morning. And the waitress comes back with a sheet that I got to sign. I'm like, what? She goes, you need to sign this sheet that indicates that you are not a member of the Mormon Church, because they monitor their people, and so you have to it's an affidavit. You have to sign an affidavit that says you are not a member of the Mormon Church, because if you're a member of the Mormon Church and you order a beer, you're in trouble. I mean, that's weird.
Welcome to Utah.
It's weird out there.
It's weird.
It's odd out there. All right, phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. You can text the show at any time, 24/7 at 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469, which is a tremendous way to communicate with me. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The stations is at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there. You can also watch it on our YouTube channel at WZZN TV, at our Facebook page at 97.7 ESPN. By the way, that's a new Facebook page, so go there and follow us. If you were a follower before, for whatever reason, which is beyond me, I'm not the social media guy, we had to launch a new page, so go there, like us. But what you'll find at the Facebook page is a link to our YouTube channel, WZZN TV. Like and subscribe on the YouTube, get notifications. And at 977ESPN.com, you'll get links to all of that. Get our app as well. You're gonna find links to Zone 3, 4, 5 as well, our alternate streaming channels, more great programming. And, Steve, tomorrow night, they're all in play. I mean, we'll have all of the of the zones going tomorrow night with 5 football games tomorrow night, so people are going to want to have that.
That's right. Yeah, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, Zone 5. We're starting to build the colony very slowly, but it's starting to build up.
That Grissom game is on Zone 5.
That's right.
It's one of 2 or 3 games that we'll have with Grissom. I think we have 6 Huntsville High games
that's
there as well in our Game of the Week package.
That's right.
So they'll have that. And I know some of you say, well, I don't understand. Sometimes, like, if the internet drops out and next thing you know I'm hearing Thom doing a game and it skips back around. We think we've solved that problem for this week. Now, you're going to hear
and moving forward.
Yeah, going forward, we think we have this taken care of. You're going to hear a little sounder that says just refresh. We've had technical difficulty, refresh, and boom, you're refreshing it. So instead of it jumping to a different game, just be careful, just hang in there. Understand the technology. As great as the technology is, as simple as a 2 or 3 second dropout in the internet will knock us off the air for a minute on the streams. So, just deal with that a little bit. Again, my game will be the Buckhorn game down at Helena.
There you go.
And that's going to be really an interesting game. And we'll talk to Matt Patterson about that here in just a moment. But over there in a little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter, the Stacks of Wax, and, of course, doing a tremendous job last year. I hope he enjoyed that, beating me in Beat the Big Dog, because that has never happened before, and I doubt it will ever happen again. But he is the one and only Grizz the Greek.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today.
What's that?
Testosterone, whatever the it is. Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Grizz, how you doing over there?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm excited. No, yeah, I keep receipts. I got all of last year's papers right here of all the Beat the Big Dogs and everything that was on there from the winning season that I had over you and the listeners. It felt great.
Well, and I got to give you credit for strategy because the last
Go the opposite.
3 or 4 weeks you went into the hug the big dog mentality where you would pick what I picked and then you would have like 2 games that were different, and each week you would like try to clip me on 1 or 2 games. And this way we never had a big separation down the stretch.
See, if I was
hug the big dogs.
If I was the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, they probably would have a Super Bowl by now because I would have just coasted and ran the ball the rest of the way, and that's what I did. I just kind of, controlled the game and controlled the rest of the season. Once I got to a kind of a lead, though, I think that's when I was kind of like impressed that I got to a lead, and then I just kind of coasted a little bit. But yeah.
Kramer hit the text window. He says, so does Buckhorn have uniform cleaning money now? No, $1,000 is not going to clean.
That's Bucky's money.
That's Bucky's money. That is not going to. He says he has a daughter that's a majorette and a clarinet player and a son that plays the tuba, and some bands still use the rifles for twirling. But no, I don't believe that $1,000. I don't know how many uniforms $1,000 would would take care of. I'm not sure. If that will happen or not, but in any event. All right, I'll tell you what, let's get a break in here. And when we come back, Matt Patterson joins us, the head football coach at Buckhorn. We'll talk about their game coming up right after this. It's the Thom Abraham Show live at Corralejos, Madison Academy. Corralejos Mexican Grill right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Don't let your back or neck pain get in the way. Get back to doing the things you love with the spine and neuro team from Huntsville Hospital. As the most experienced in the area, we have been improving lives in North Alabama for more than 50 years. Whether your favorite fishing hole is on Wilson Lake in the Shoals, Flint Creek, or Lake Gunnersville, Spine and Neuro is nearby to get you back to your best. Visit us online at spineandneuro.com to learn more.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Really is going to be a beautiful day across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We drop into the mid-upper 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. More cloud cover Friday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out, but it does not look like the day or the evening is going to be a complete wash. Temperatures climb into the mid and upper 80s, dropping into the upper 60s through the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Join us every week for Alabama football right here.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Last year, so it's like game 4 to game 5. I won't say game at Hazel Green is why I thought Yaya really took the next step of being a varsity back for us. We may be better at running back right now in game 1 than we were last year, and that's because Cameron Swain can come in there and take touches and not miss a beat. So I don't want to say we got a 1 and a 2. I want to say we got a 1A and a 1B.
Roop in the shotgun formation has 3 receivers to the near side. And he'll hand it off to Yaya coming near side. He looks to cut it back inside. He's going to take it all the way back across the field. Yaya has some room on the far sideline. Yaya heading for the pylon. And it's a touchdown, Bucks. A Hoffman Group touchdown as Yaya Landrum, he looked bottled up on the near side, bent it back all the way across the field, and took it in down the far sideline. 3rd down and 4. They'll go right back to it, right up the gut. He's got first down yardage and more. And there goes Yaya Landrum to the touchdown for the Bucks. Yaya Landrum, 24 yards on the touchdown run. They'll hand it this time right up the middle to Cameron Swain, and he's out the door. Cameron Swain will take it to the house for a touchdown, Bucks. It opened up, and he went out of there like a seed coming out of a grape and took it to the house for a Hoffman Group touchdown for Cameron Swain. 35 yards on the touchdown run. Madison County, heavy formation to the near side. They'll run that little counter gap play again, and there goes Swain ripping it up the middle, and he's out the door. Cameron Swain to the house. Oh, they couldn't get the little guy down. And he has a big touchdown run, a second one in 2 series, 34 yards again for Cameron Swain. Back-to-back 34-yarders. And welcome back, Tom Abraham Show. And, I guess I got to change his name to Coach Claire, as in clairvoyant, because he called it last week. He tells us he's got a 1A and a 1B, and he scored 5 touchdowns on the ground between the two of them. He is, of course, Matt Patterson. He's brought to us by the Hoffman Group, and he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, welcome in. How are you?
Man, doing great this week, Tom. 1-0.
Do you want to make any more great predictions about, the makeup of your team? Because certainly you nailed it last week when you talked about these 2 running backs.
Well, they're going to throw it again tomorrow night.
Oh, that's it? That's all you want to give me on it?
For right now. We'll give you more tomorrow night at 7. You don't know who's listening out there, Tom.
Oh, okay. I see how you are. All right. You think those Helena guys, those Helena Huskies guys, Coach Busby and his crew, they might be checking it out to see what's going on.
I listened to his show this morning, so it's just how it is, Tom. If you're going to scout, you're going to scout. Whether it's radio shows, TV shows, newspapers, whatever. I'm a little bit of a football junkie.
So that's we file this under no rock unturned, huh? So this is what you coaches do nowadays? You actually go and find what they're doing on social media and on radio shows and what comments they might have made just to kind of glean any little bit of anything?
Sure, I do. You got to find an edge, Tom.
I guess. So, 20 carries, 202 yards. Cameron had 10 carries for 107 yards. That adds up to basically a 10-yard per carry average. Is that good? I don't know. I've been out of coaching for a while. Is 10 yards a carry pretty good or what?
Yeah, that was our adjustment at halftime. Get those guys the ball more.
Well, they certainly did a great job with it. And Jack Group, he had one little run there where he showed a little bit of scoots. I think that's kind of underestimating. Sometimes I think his athleticism is underestimated a little bit.
Very underestimated. And, there was another time there he missed a read, and he motioned to me as soon as he did it, and we get back on film on Sunday, and we watched it with him. And if he had kept it, he'd had another big run, possibly a score. So, those are little things in game one.
Yeah.
I thought we made some mistakes early, offensively and defensively, kind of shot ourselves in the foot, and, was dang nail biter there at the half, 21-19. But I thought our offensive coordinator, Jordan Boatwright, and defensive coordinator, Kyle Crabtree, and our staff did a phenomenal job at halftime of making adjustments. I think our defense came out with maybe 5 or 6 straight 3-and-outs to start the second half. And I think we put up 21 unanswered before they scored there late in the fourth quarter. And we started kind of subbing some guys there.
Right.
It was about 6 minutes to go. But, I was very pleased with how we came out. But, game one type jitters a little bit, I guess.
It felt like you dodged a major bullet right before the half there because, they kick off, the Tigers do. You have that one fumbled out of bounds. You don't have great field position, and then just the concentration. I think it was a good fine snap, but Jack Group has it, goes through his hands, and the next thing you know, they've got it. Your defense bows up. I mean, we talk about sudden change all the time. Your defense bows up, and you force a Madison County field goal attempt from the hash, from in close. And I remember saying right before the kick that it was a really tough angle, and of course this is a freshman kicker, and he just misses it, and you guys go in. You almost got to feel like you scored at the end there because it looked like you were going in down a point, and you go into the locker room up a couple.
Yep, you're right, and that's the little bit of veteran leadership. I feel like if that had been the same situation last year, they'd have scored a touchdown. And this group bowed up right there, and I think the D lineman kept up and made a big play. I can't remember exactly. Either E.J. Hall or Holden Pitts made a really big play right there on the goal line. I think Jordan Edwards broke up a pass in the end zone, right there, maybe on third down, but it was a couple big plays in a row as a sequence. And then I felt like from that point on, defensively, they were dialed in, and we made some adjustments on, they had a really good receiver, number 37. So we did some bracket stuff when he was a single receiver, and I felt like that helped us a little bit in the secondary. And, I thought the D-line, I think they had 4 sacks there in the second half, and E.J. Hall had 2, and him and Harlan, I think, combined for both of them. But I thought the guys played well in the second half, and that's we've kind of been a first half team here the last couple of years, and it was good to see a second half explosion, I guess you could say.
That kid you're talking about for Madison County, I mean, you talk about what he did offensively. Defensively, he played well at safety. He returned kicks. I think he did everything but line the field. I mean, he was that's a kid that you seek out, right, a little bit when you're in the handshake line. That sometimes you kind of want to almost seek a kid out like that and shake his hand and appreciate his effort. They had a few guys like that. They were undermanned. They had a lot of guys going both ways. But I thought that Coach Pittman had his kids, ready to go, and they battled throughout the game. And had a few of those guys never came off the field.
Oh man, they got some gutsy ball players, Tom, and they improved tremendously from the jamboree to week 1. I told Coach that after the game, if they can keep improving, they got a chance to be some problems for some folks and win a bunch of ball games down the stretch. They got some talent. The running back's a really good player. Anytime you got a coach's kid at quarterback, you should have strong leadership in that position, in which they do. The O-line's not bad either. They average like 270. They're kind of sneaky on you if you ain't careful. But man, they play extremely hard. I thought the defensive end, number 19, played hard all night long, and so did 37. I think his last name was Duval.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
yeah, Duval.
Phenomenal gutsy player.
Yeah. And they got to turn around and play tonight. Game will be on our air as part of our high school sports streaming network. We'll have that game tonight against Lee from Milton Frank. I don't envy that. It was such a physical game, and it was such a hot night, and there were so many cramps and everything else in the second half. Of course, it's going to be a gorgeous night tonight. But, boy, that's tough. I mean, you get a feature game on a Thursday night, but still, that's tough to turn around on a short week.
Oh, absolutely. You never like short week games unless you're picking them.
Yeah.
And, but that's and it is what it is. And they're other than James Clemens and Mountain Brook tonight, I guess they're the only game in the city.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of defense, Ian Harrell, Matt Patterson with us here, the head coach at Buckhorn. Ian Harrell, I mean, he's 6'1", 285 pounds, and I was watching him when he was going in and on and off the field and so on. You think 6'1", 285, you're thinking of a kid that's a little bit sloppy. You know what I mean? It's usually maybe a kid that needs to lose some weight and so on. He was going back. He looks like a linebacker. I'm like, 200. It's amazing how well that kid carries that weight and how athletic he is in terms of his, just his foot speed, his quickness.
Oh, he's very explosive, very athletic. He's still young. I mean, he still makes a lot of young mistakes, but I mean, he holds his own. We have some things that he can do for us offensively if we get some different scenarios. Very smart football player, very smart kid, great kid too. One of the better kids that walks halls in our school, and that sophomore class got a lot of talent, Tom.
Right.
And all throughout the school in different sports. Obviously in basketball, that's the same class as Caleb Holt. That's the same class. Starting corner, Dalen Scott, Ian Harrell. There's a lot of big time potential talent within that 10th grade class. They could be really special here.
Matt Patterson with us here. Talk to me about what you see with this Helena Husky team. I mean, this is a really well-coached team out of Region 3, a 6A school. You'll make the big trip down there tomorrow night. We'll have it, of course, on our air. And that they're clean. I mean, they're a clean machine, and had another big win last week. I think 50-17, something like that, in their victory over Chelsea. What do you see when you looked at them this week?
I see a defense that plays with a lot of heart and a lot of effort. They get after the football. They got some of the best-looking defensive backs and pads that I've seen, and we'll probably will see all year long. I know they got a Alvis, number 2. He's got some Penn State, Mississippi State offers. I know the linebacker, Roberto, number 16, came back from IMG last year. So he's got some offers. They got another linebacker I think is committed to Memphis. Very talented defensively. And then offensively, I mean, it's the Jordan Washington show. That's one thing we've preached to our kids, and he's number 34. We've told them, they got other good players too, Tom. I mean,
he was a problem last year.
Yeah. Cam Acker, quarterback, the starting first-year starter. He threw for about 170 yards last week. They got Torrey Ward, number 8. You're going to see, you'll know who he is right off the bat, and then Hunter Hill, number 7. We've kind of told our kids, they want to run the football. Their offense reminds me of a Gus Malzahn, Auburn-style offense from the earlier years where it's counter, power, buck sweep. And that's what you're getting. And then they're going to throw it deep, and they'll throw a couple screens and things of that nature just to keep the honestness and off balance. But we got to set up and stop the run. I mean, we're going to go down there tomorrow night and they're going to do stuff and be explosive. We want them to be explosive in the passing game because, the old adage, 2 out of the 3 things are bad when you throw the football. Try to play the percentage a little bit and then make them beat us left-handed.
Yeah, and the Washington kid, you need to almost – because you can bottle him up at times. You guys had him bottled up at times last year, and then all of a sudden he goes off. You can't relax. Yeah, you got to attack him and tackle him because you can't get lulled to sleep thinking that we held him a couple of times, 3 carries for 8 yards, and then the next carry he's out the door. So he's that kind of a kid.
He's a lot faster than people give him credit for too. Yeah, I know last week versus Alina, maybe the second drive of the game, he broke 180 yards and he went away from everybody. And that kid's 215, 216 pounds, and he's motoring. So if you let him get his full head of steam, he's hard to catch. And we need to make him pat his feet and make him shift his feet to the line of scrimmage and swarm to the football.
Yeah. Coach Matt Pattison with us here. All right, longest trip, in terms of miles for the team this year. You guys get on a bus. It's a little bit of a different animal. You're a young team, but you're kind of you still got some veterans because a lot of these sophomore class kids that you were talking about played as freshmen last year. You did take a little bit of a trip last year. Just talk about the preparation for something like this, taking this ride down there and what the day will look like tomorrow, because I would imagine you're probably going to get them out of school a little bit early.
Yeah, we're going to get them out at 12 o'clock. They're going to go into the lunchroom, our lunchroom ladies are going to have them at the go box for lunch, and then we're going to pull out probably about 12:50, 1 o'clock. Spirit coach there in Madison is going to charter us down to Helena. We're going to try to eat at the Cracker Barrel at Pelham at 3:30. Maybe have a little quick walkthrough after we eat, and then probably around 4:15 or so, load the bus there and make the little 20-minute trip from Pelham there to Helena. So we're going to try to get there about 4:50, 5 o'clock, give them an hour, and then we'll go out for warm-ups at 6.
Turf surface, synthetic turf surface. You'll play several games this year on synthetic turf, including when you go to Joe Davis and so on. Does it change at all this day and age with this kind of turf? Any footwear changes for that kind of a surface?
No, we'll wear the same cleats. Everything kind of be the same. I just feel like sometimes as much as you practice on grass, when you do go to turf, it's a little more slippery. Mm-hmm. You got to kind of get used to it. I think teams that have turf and get to practice on turf every day obviously have an advantage of playing on turf. And I think teams that play on grass and practice on grass every day have advantage over on grass compared to teams that play on turf. So, I mean, it's a road game. It's a different environment. I would expect it to be a huge home crowd for Helena, and I think we'll travel well, too, tomorrow night. I know it's a long trip, but it's one of the top 5 games in Birmingham, according to AL.com, for this week. And, I know we're probably, to everybody out there in the listening world, we're probably huge underdogs going on the road, but that's something we're kind of made it a point that, we got a point to prove. We need to go down there and, I have a ton of respect for Coach Busby and those guys at Helena. Is a good friend of mine, but we're going to try to go down there and win, lose, or draw. We're going to try to battle this team to the bitter end, and we're going to try to earn some respect not only in Birmingham but across the state tomorrow night.
Well, we know if they can't get down there, or if can't get out of work early enough to make the ride down there or so on, we know where they can listen to the game, right? So they can follow that, or they can make that run, and they can be listening to it over the air. They can listen to it all the way down past Coleman, and then pick it up on our primary feed as well, and they can listen right up until the time they walk in the gate. If they're going to be a little bit late, they'll know exactly what is going on with the game, as John McGough and myself will have the call, as we do each and every week for the Buckhorn Bucks. Coach, we wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. Looking forward to it, and hopefully everybody stays healthy, and and we'll see what happens. Can't wait, man.
Man, me either, man. I'm ready to roll.
Thank you. That is Coach Matt Patterson joining us courtesy of the Hoffman Group as he joins us each and every week. Listen, Alabama and Auburn are playing this week. Not against each other, but they are playing this week. So it's time for you to get down to Alumni Hall at Bridge Street and get your Alabama and Auburn gear, whether it's gifts or it's tailgating items or the coolest clothing items. Go to Alumni Hall, right next to the Kona Grill, across from Connor's Steakhouse, right there at Bridge Street. Look the part. Go to Alumni Hall. All right, we're going to break in here. When we come back, phone lines are open. So if you want to jump on the line, now is a good time to do that. We'll do more coming up right here from Corjalejos Mexican Restaurant, Mexican Grill, right here on Old Monrovia Road, right behind Westminster. Back with more right after this on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. Tax-free week is back at Freedom Marine in Guntersville. The annual Freedom Marine Pontoon Boat Sale next Tuesday through Saturday. Get special pontoon boat sale prices, factory rebates, and only during this sale, Freedom Marine will pay all of the Alabama state tax on your Bennington, Low, or Veranda pontoon boat purchase. But these deals are for 1 week only, next Tuesday through Saturday. Freedom Marine on Highway 431 in Guntersville. Find out more at freedommarincenter.com.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Give Bubby's a call today at 256-513-8080. Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
Welcome back. Stan McDonald from the Stanton Law Firm. I had lunch with Lewis just recently and with a client of ours, a mutual client, and great to hear all the good things going on at the Stanton Law Firm.
Thank you, Wes. The Stanton Law Firm, as you know, we've discussed before, we're dirt lawyers. We do a lot of real estate, litigation and closing. And yes, my son Lewis McDonald enjoyed meeting you a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of your friends. He is, as you know, he's opened up a commercial closing division. So he's really helping a lot of people who are trying to close, buy, or sell on their commercial property. And he can't be in this community doing business without knowing Wes neighbors.
I don't know about that, but it sure was getting to meet another McDonald and talking a little bit about his grandfather, Coach Dye, and right, the different things. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your listeners are really going to enjoy meeting Lewis and you in this community. And like I said, at Jacob Title or the Stanton Law Firm, we close business. We close some good commercial closings, residential closings. We appreciate being part of your show.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here to enjoy another great football season with y'all. And guess what? The salmon are running, so make sure you try our delicious lemon garlic salmon. And for you land lovers, try our sizzling char grill flat iron Callaway steak complemented with our special shrimp etouffee. And you'll definitely want to tackle our Alabama hot chicken smothered in our zesty and tangy immune-boosting special Alabama hot sauce. Baumhauer's legendary fun and legendary food.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Listen each Friday to the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by TOC. Use the orthopedic specialist that pretty much every high school in the region uses. TOC Sports, Alabama A&M, and the Huntsville Havoc rely on TOC as well. But it doesn't have to be a sports injury. It could be a work accident, or maybe you're just breaking down a little bit. TOC has the right specialist for you. North Alabama's largest sports medicine provider is TOC Sports. Stay in the game with TOC Sports. Speaking of Alabama A&M, from the text window, somebody said, let's see what he said here. He said, when are you guys gonna spend some time talking about Alabama A&M football or feature Alabama A&M football? They are Huntsville's home team. They are, and in fact, we've had discussions with Alabama A&M about putting them on our network, putting them on our streaming network on Zone 3. I don't know where that's going. I got one of our guys is on that and dealing with that, and we'll see if that happens. But we used to, Grizz, remember a couple of years ago, we used to have the broadcaster used to come on every couple of weeks or so, and we need to do that. We need to talk a little bit about them, especially when their big games are coming up as well. I think they are going to be I think they're featured on a TV game this week, in fact.
Literally last week, I think Talking Ball had Connell Maynard on, the head coach.
There you
go.
go.
I mean, we're there. We have it. It's there. It's archived. You can get it on our SoundCloud page, too, if you've missed it. There goes my phone off. I'm pulling a Tom Abraham. But, you know, I mean, you can find it there. And, yeah, we've been there, too. We've covered it. We've gone over there. And yeah, we'd love to hear more more updates, too.
They're on Vandy. Or they're at Vandy on the ESPN Plus, in the SEC Network Plus this week against Vandy up there, and I don't know if they can give Vandy a hard time or not. We'll see. Vanderbilt was not impressive last week beating Hawaii. They really were not that impressive. They beat them 35-28, and they were a 17-point favorite in that game, and it could only beat them 35. And beat them by 7.
And that's the thing. Like, that was kind of weird for a team like Hawaii, who I honestly had to keep going to the sideline to even pick a play and figure out what they were doing. For a team that didn't look like they knew how to play football, to be able to be within one score of Vanderbilt, that was kind of eye opening.
I'll say they look improved. I would say that they do look improved. Hawaii. And plus they were playing for the state. You know what I mean, with the wildfires and everything. There was a lot of motivation, there as well. Speaking of impressive, Wolverine Dan is here, and Captain Cool, the Junkyard Babe are here as well. But Wolverine Dan showed up, and he's wearing his high school uniform. In fact, let me get a picture. Stand up, Wolverine Dan. I want to post this thing. He's wearing his high school. Stand up, skinny. You little skinny runt, you. I mean, this guy used to be like 230 pounds. Now he's like 140. There we go. All right, I'm going to put that up on the thing. That's his high school jersey. Now, Grizz has his high school jersey. I don't even know if Grizz can wear his. Grizz has got his high school jersey on, and I'm going to just say this right now. I'm looking through the magic window, even though I'm here at Corralejos Mexican Grill. I'm looking through the magic window at Grizz, and I got to tell you, Grizz, I think you could fit a quarter through the mesh right now around your belly. I think you could stick a dime in there because it looks like you're really straining the lower part of that jersey.
I got a shirt on underneath, but yeah, like I said, I've tacked on some mass, so it does stretch out now. When I was wearing it before, I probably weighed $130 and never played, and the jersey probably looked too big on me.
But you're not stretching it into shoulders and the chest area.
I never have. Never will.
The boiler area.
Never have and never will. I mean, this used to be an acceptable body back in the day. You know what I mean? It used to mean that you had some sort of wealth because you could eat. So I don't have the typical body nowadays. Like how it used to be.
Wolverine Dan's jersey is hanging loose on him. I mean, that's how it is. And
he's lost a lot of weight, too.
It's in great shape. Now, he's lost about 40 pounds. The jersey is in great shape. When you think about it, that jersey has got to be, 40 years old? Wolverine Dan is like 62, 63. So how old is the jersey? 45 years old. He's 64. So the jersey has got to be like, am I making this up? 18 from 64. Isn't it like 45 years, Chris? The jersey's like 45 years old. And it looks like brand new. Of course, he probably didn't play very much, I guess. That's why it looks so good. I mean, the jersey looks like it's unused. To be honest with you, I wish I had my high school jersey. My high school jersey was all...
I love mine. I'm glad I have mine. I love mine.
See, mine was all kind of tattered. You know what I mean? I had a lot of tears and rips and stuff in it.
I didn't get a lot of tears or rips. It was nice and clean.
I went through a couple of jerseys. They had to redo my number 53.
I remember one year they got rid of a bunch of away jerseys we had, and they were giving them to Whitesburg and stuff. And me and my buddies, when we were coaching at Whitesburg, just took our numbers out of there. Yeah. So we wanted our white jerseys that they just spent money on and then literally got rid of less than 4 years later.
Some girl from high school's got my jersey. I'll be honest with you. I don't know where it is. I don't know where I will say that low because my wife is here, but some girl's got my jersey.
I'll wear mine Friday. No,
and my leather sweater. So there you go. All right, coming up. You know what it is? Coming up, it's Beat the Big Dog. Next, beat caller number 2 and play Beat the Big Dog when we return on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in, Pro Football Hall of Famer Gil Brandt, one of the architects who helped turn the Dallas Cowboys from an expansion franchise into America's team, has died at the age of 91. Brandt, credited with being the first in the NFL to use computers to enter number grades for prospects at each position in evaluation for the NFL Draft, also was one of those credited with spurring the creation of the NFL Scouting Combine. The Jaguars will be without one of their best defensive linemen for at least the first 4 games of the season. They placed starting defensive tackle Devon Hamilton on injured reserve with a non-football related medical issue with his back. Among the other transactions by Jacksonville today, signing tight end Josh Peterson, son of head coach Doug Peterson, to the practice squad. White Sox promoted Director of Player Personnel Chris Getz to GM to replace the fired Rick Hahn.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama. Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
T-minus 3, 2, 1, blast.
Trash Panda Nation, ignite the fun, let's rock it.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back home for the final games of the 2023 season, starting Tuesday, September 5th, as they host the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Tuesday, get here early for one of the final giveaways of the season. The first 1,500 fans through the gates are going home with a Sonny DeShera bobblehead. Get your tickets now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond Lehocky Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Really is going to be a beautiful day across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We drop into the mid-upper 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. More cloud cover Friday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out, but it does not look like the day or the evening is going to be a complete wash. Temperatures climb into the mid and upper 80s, dropping into the upper 60s through the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got it locked on your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Nick Saban Show. This is Eli Gold, and this is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show, live from Corralejos Mexican Grill in the Publix Plaza on Old Monrovia Road, right behind Westminster Church and Westminster High School. I am Thom Abraham, and those of you that are watching the show on WZZN TV, you will note this picture that is behind me. I'm pointing to a Grizz. You see this behind me here? This is me when I was in high school. They have an older picture of me from high school here, and that's what that is right here behind me. Now, I know it's been a while. It's been 40 years or so since I was in high school. But that's me back then. That's who the Junkyard Babe married, that guy. And now I'm not that guy. anymore. I don't know who that is.
I can see it in the eyebrows.
It might be Errol Flynn. I'm not sure who that guy is right there, but it might be. I'm not sure. All right, Beat the Big Dog is brought to you by our friends at Valley Equipment Rental today with their 2 locations. Homeowners and contractors alike will love Valley Equipment Rental. Ross Roberts and his team, they do such a tremendous job, and they're local. I mean local. These are all dudes. Roberts is Ross himself is a Huntsville High Panther, and all his guys, they're all local. It's a local business. All the money stays right here in the Tennessee Valley. So if you want to deal local, if you want to, work with a company that is invested in the community, it's Valley Equipment Rental. Oh, by the way, they have more equipment than anybody. They got more skid steers. They got more mini excavators, big excavators, dozers, lifts. They got it all at Valley Equipment Rental. All right, Grizz, it's time for Beat the Big Dog.
You know, there are rules to success, my friend. Rule number 1 is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I gotta know everything you know as soon as you know it.
All right, we have our contestant. Sooner Rick is going to give it a shot here as we kick off this year's Beat the Big Dog. There was 443 picks made last year. You guys beat me 9 times in 23 weeks to take tickets to the Music City Bowl. Don't be a lemon.
You're a lemon.
Don't be a lemon. We don't want you to be a lemon. We don't want you to be a lemon. And to recap this, last year I was 77-66, 11 games over 500. These are picks against the spread. We're not just picking the winner. We're picking against the spread. I was 77-66, which is good enough to beat you guys. But for the first time in the 18-year history of Beat the Big Dog, it was not good enough to beat my own producer, which is very bothersome to me. It's keeping me up at night. To be honest with you, this is really something that I have to overcome. So this is my own personal redemption tour here as I try to take Grizz down on this. So Sooner Rick joins us. He's going to play. Sooner Rick, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing pretty darn good. How are you?
I am fantastic. So the way this works, Sooner Rick, so that we don't make all the same picks, we were going to alternate picking games here. And what will happen is that before you make your pick, Grizz will make his pick, so you have a little bit of an idea. You'll hear his pick before you make yours, so he's giving you a little bit of help because he is Grizz the Greek. So the question is, do you want to pick first on the first game, or do you want to pick first on the second game? And we'll alternate throughout.
I'm going to go second.
All right, on the second game. All right, so on the first game,
good choice.
I will make my pick first, then Grizz, and then you. And then on the second game, Grizz will make his pick, you, and then me. All right, so here we go. We're going to start it out with a big game tonight. Florida getting 4.5 at Utah. This line has been all over the place. Cam Rising is not playing for Utah. He is their starting quarterback, a veteran quarterback. Florida's breaking in a new quarterback. Make the long trip, play this game at altitude. Utah is the defending back-to-back Pac-12 champion here. If Florida beats them, I mean, what does it tell you about the Pac-12? I mean, it tells you why it's dissolving a little bit. Florida's a middle-of-the-pack team out of the SEC. I will pull for the Gators big time, but since it's Beat the Big Dog, I will take Utah and lay the 4.5. Grizz, what say ye?
Give me Graham Mertz and the Florida Gators upsetting Utah. Go ahead.
All right, so he's got Florida. All right, Sooner Rick, we're on both the opposite sides of this. What do you say? Florida gets 4.5 at Utah.
I'm going to go with Florida.
You're going to take Florida as well, even though we know you're not Gator Rick, you're Sooner Rick, but you're going to go with the SEC there, yeah. So I'm out on an island in that one, so we'll see if I can break out on top of you guys right from the beginning. All right, on this game, Grizz will go first, and then Sooner Rick, and then me. Another game tonight. This is a Big Ten game tonight. Nebraska gets 7.5 at Minnesota. What do you think, Grizz?
We talking about Nebraska volleyball or football?
No. This is Nebraska football. The football.
There'd be 90,000 people at this game.
They would have to have two stadiums to have 90,000 people at Minnesota.
Let's see. What was the spread? I'm sorry.
7.5.
Minnesota's favored.
Yes, you get 7.5 with Nebraska.
Give me Nebraska. Give me Nebraska on the.
All right, he's going to take the Huskers. What do you think, Sooner Rick?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to pick Nebraska as well. I'm never a big Nebraska fan, but I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh.
Even though I'm from Oklahoma, and I used to always go to all the Oklahoma-Nebraska games. And Nebraska's got to come back somewhere along the line. I don't know, but I think they're due to win tonight.
They had that volleyball thing last night and at Nebraska at Lincoln at Memorial Stadium, and they had 92,000 people. It was the biggest crowd ever to see a women's event anywhere in the world ever. And Nebraska, and volleyball is huge in Nebraska. In fact, I understand that volleyball is now the most popular women's sport in the country. It used to always be basketball, but actually volleyball now is the most, the favorite women's sport in the country. Having said that, I didn't realize this. We did a little research on it. The Nebraska football has sold out every game for 60 years. 60 years! Every single game. It's not going to help them in this one because it's at Minnesota. But you know what? I'm taking Nebraska, too, with the 7.5. Matt Rule's debut. I think they'll play him tough. I could see Minnesota winning this game by 3 or 4, but I'm getting 7.5. I'll agree with you guys. I'm on Nebraska. All right, next game. This one is being played in Charlotte, North Carolina, on the synthetic turf there. The South Carolina Gamecocks get 2.5 against North Carolina. So this is the Battle of the Carolinas. I don't need the 2.5. Wrong team is favored. I think South Carolina, wins this game outright. I'll take the SEC here with South Carolina, and I get 2.5. Grizz.
I totally agree with you. I'm taking South Carolina. I like the starting quarterback. Hopefully, Spencer Rattler will finally be a Heisman contending quarterback this year and upset May over there at UNC. We'll see.
All right. What do you think, Sooner Rick?
I'm going with Spencer myself.
All right, so you got South Carolina as well. So we're all taking the Gamecocks in that one. And Spencer Rattler, I mean, he had his moments last year later on in the season. He had his moments where he was awful early in the year and was able to turn it around a little bit. So we'll see what kind of year he has. But I think people forget that that's an 8-4 team coming back in South Carolina. We forget a little bit about how they finished the season, whacking Tennessee and whacking Clemson to end the year. I mean, those are two pretty big wins, that's for sure. All right, in this next game, Grizz, you start us off. This will be played in Orlando. It's a rematch from last year. Florida State gets 2.5 against LSU in their backyard in Orlando. What do you got?
Ooh, man, you know what? Give me LSU.
All right, so you're sticking now 3 in a row. You're going with the SEC. He says LSU. Sooner Rick, Florida State gets 2.5 against LSU in Orlando.
I'm actually going with Florida State myself.
Yeah, you know what, Rick? I'm with you on this one. I'm going to take Florida State as well. I like Jordan Travis. I like Jaden Daniels, but I like Jordan Travis as well. This is going to be a predominantly Florida State crowd, almost a home game for the Noles, if you will. LSU, they stumbled a little bit right at the end. I'm not 100% sold right now yet, and I think Florida State getting points. I'll go ahead and take the points, even though they're not a lot of points. All right, now normally during the season we'll have 3 college games, 4 college games, and a couple of pro games in there. We have no pro games this week, and to be honest with you, there are not a lot of real good college games. There's a little bit each day that are going to be worth watching. I usually don't put cupcake games in there, but I went ahead and put the 2 cupcake games that will be played in-state as Alabama and Auburn get things started this year. So I'm going to go ahead with this one, and I think I'm up to pick first. Middle Tennessee gets 39.5 at Alabama. 39.5. Middle Tennessee went to Miami last year and beat Miami. Alabama's going to win this game easily. 30, 35 points. Are they going to win it by 40? I think, I've said this over and over again, with these big spreads, Nick Saban tends to not bury another team and embarrass another team when he's got the game in hand. I also think they want to play a lot of players. I'm going to take MTSU with the 39.5 and say that Alabama wins this game by like 5 touchdowns, but that's not enough to cover. I'll take Middle Tennessee. Grizz, what do you got?
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of points, and I think I've learned for so many years off of you and everything like that. That's a lot of points. Like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and take Middle Tennessee.
All right,
there's
so
no logic behind it. Just there's a lot of points.
Well, that's the logic. It's a lot of points. So Sooner Rick, Middle Tennessee gets 39.5 at Alabama. What do you got?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go with that high either. Middle Tennessee is what I'm going to pick, and so I guess we're just going to be just that one game difference there. And
well, we got one more. We got one more.
We
Go ahead.
we got one more? Oh,
We got one more. We got one more game.
Okay, good.
All right.
Okay, good.
All right, so this one you guys are picking first. And, Grizz, it's your Auburn Tigers hosting UMass, and UMass gets 35.5 at Auburn. What do you think?
What was the spread? I'm sorry?
35.5. UMass is 1-0, you know.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. They got a lot of offense.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Give me UMass.
He's going to take UMass. All right, what do you got, Sooner Rick? UMass gets 35.5 at Auburn.
I'll take UMass as well.
All right, I'm going to jump on the other side of you on this one. With Hugh Freeze, new coach, trying to impress the fans, get them fired up, score early and often. I will lay the 35.5 and say that Auburn – I hate that half at 35.5 because that's a key number. You're talking about, 5 touchdowns and extra points there. But I will go ahead and take Auburn and lay the wood. So what we have here is I am on Utah. You are on Florida, Sooner Rick. We all like Nebraska. We all like South Carolina. I have FSU, as does Sooner Rick. We all like Middle Tennessee getting 39.5. I have Auburn, and Sooner Rick, you have UMass. So there you go. Good luck with this.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. That's Sooner Rick getting in the first one of the year. And I'm just thinking, Grizz, that Hugh Freeze, unlike Nick Saban. Nick Saban has nothing to prove, and he wants to probably look at a lot of players because it's not just about the quarterback. Remember, Alabama doesn't have a depth chart. Remember that? He says they have no depth chart, so they don't even know who they're going to play. I mean, let's be honest with you. If Nick Saban didn't tell us a depth chart, what that means very clearly is obviously he has no idea who's going to play. They're just going to have guys running out on the field at any particular point in time because, hey, you didn't tell us a depth chart.
Yeah.
So probably, you know what I mean? They're just going to like the kids. He said it's up to the players to decide the depth chart, who's going to start. So they're just going to run out there, and who knows who's going to play. They'll probably play 80, 90, 100 guys in a game. We don't know. Okay, I'm being facetious. Do you think that Drew Darman knows I'm being facetious, so he doesn't do it? I don't want him to do a 10-minute rant tomorrow on me, saying that Tom Abraham said that Alabama doesn't have a depth chart. I hope he understands. I'm making a joke.
I think Nick Saban, since he's being kind of nicer nowadays and lackadaisical a little bit, kind of needs to go like Aaron Rodgers and just spell out relax and just be RELAX, relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't want anybody
calm down,
that
everybody.
I do believe that Alabama does have a depth
pill.
chart. I
would
want
think
to
so.
point that out that they do in fact have a depth chart. Just because they
find
don't tell us.
the majority of the depth chart on a website nowadays.
I think
it's
that
2023.
Probably have a no. Those are all guesses. Those aren't. Those
are guesses.
Those aren't real. You don't know what's real.
But it's a depth chart, but you know where people are going to play within the roster.
Have an
if
idea.
You look at it. Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, we don't know. He didn't give us a depth chart, so for all we know, he doesn't even know.
Hypothetical.
I think they're going to do. Maybe they're going to do it alphabetical. Maybe they're just going to whoever shows up first. Maybe they're going to do it based on who gets to the locker room first. That must be it. I'm joking.
Yeah, linebackers out here playing wide receiver and running back because they got 3 on their number.
Understand? I'm joking here on this. All right, I'm joking. I bet. You know what? I even bet. You ready for this, Chris? I'm going to do a little insider stuff for you.
What you going to do?
All right, I'm going to go deep inside. Okay, you ready for this? I think Nick Saban knows who he's going to start a quarterback tomorrow or Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I know. It's breaking news. I get that. I understand. It's probably going to end up on AL.com now. I understand. But I'm going to say right now that Nick Saban knows who the starting quarterback is tomorrow. Maybe you need to call the show tonight. You know what I mean? I mean, tonight is a big night with the Hey Coach.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that several people will call in and say, "Hey, Coach, is it true that Eli Holstein and Dylan Lonergan are going to be the 2 quarterbacks tonight?"
I would love to hear someone call in.
Somebody could ask that question. I don't know. Okay.
My cousin Vinny said Dylan Lonergan's going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, wouldn't it be funny if they just all of a sudden Saban said who's starting? Yeah. By the way,
go ahead.
Jalen Miller was going to start tonight. Wouldn't it be funny if he just said it?
I would love for the coach to do that, just because that just messes with the media even more. Even just say a name and not
media,
no. But the thing is just say a name and just mess with me, because then we talk about it. We're gonna do it.
He is not being mean or not bullying the media or anything else. He's got a football team to run.
Trust me, I would sit in that room frightened.
We don't need to know. We just want to know. Okay, it's not. We're on a need to know basis, and we don't need to know.
No,
we just want to know. You know what? I'm gonna give you another one. Inside information. The broadcasters who are working on the game, they have gotten a depth chart by now. All right, the broadcasters who are making up their charts, their spotting charts and stuff. Okay, I'm just going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to tell you, the broadcasters doing the game have their depth chart. I know Tim Brando thinks that he has to stand up for the broadcasters because they don't have their depth chart. The broadcasters have a depth chart. They know what is going on. And when a coach, by the way, asks broadcasters to, this is embargoed, 99.9% of them honor that. And when it's embargoed, it's embargoed. You just don't talk about it. But anyway, I'm just being facetious.
Just trying to get the Jim from Tuscaloosa's,
yes.
The Jeff from the Burrows to call in. And be like, you guys got a quarterback yet?
Yeah. No, it's going to be all right. It's all going to be okay. All right, let's get a break in here. When we come back, Steve Merrill will join us from ProSportsInfo.com. We'll get his take on a number of things, including the new clock rules in college football, how this affects the over-unders. He's coming up right after this on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
At Bryant Bank, we recognize your time is valuable, and easy, secure access to your finances is essential. That's why we provide the financial tools you need to manage your money on the go and make life a bit easier. At Bryant Bank, we're here to help with instant debit cards, Apple Pay, person-to-person payments, and more. Bryant bankers want to show you how beneficial our digital banking services can be. Learn more at bryantbank.com. Bryant Bank. Live legendary. Member FDIC.
Don't let your back or neck pain get in the way. Get back to doing the things you love with the spine and neuro team from Huntsville Hospital. As the most experienced in the area, we have been improving lives in North Alabama for more than 50 years. Whether your favorite fishing hole is on Wilson Lake in the Shoals, Flint Creek, or Lake Gunnersville, Spine and Neuro is nearby to get you back to your best. Visit us online at spineandneuro.com to learn more.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Steve Merrill today brought to us by North Alabama Mortgage. Whether you're in Alabama, Tennessee, or Florida, North Alabama Mortgage has you covered for all your mortgage needs. Get a home valuation and see what you can do by refinancing or buying new with North Alabama Mortgage's team of experts in your corner. They treat you like family. They walk you through the entire process. They did it for me. They can do it for you. Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage are outstanding. We broadcast today live from Corralejos Mexican Grill tomorrow morning, beginning at 8 o'clock in our zone deals. You can get $50 worth of Corralejos for just 25 bones. This one is always very popular, and it is going to go very, very fast. We broadcast, though, from here at Corralejos, and we are joined now by the one and only Steve Merrill from not only Wager Talk TV, but ProSportsInfo.com, and he is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Steve, welcome in. How are you?
Thom, doing great. Last day of August. That means college football is here.
Yeah, college football is here, and I'm here at a Mexican restaurant. I don't know if you look over my right shoulder, you can see this picture here behind me. That was me back in college. They have a picture of me up from college. I don't look like that anymore, but that's what I used to look like in college, so they used that old picture. I kind of look like Errol Flynn. I know some people might think that's Errol Flynn, but it's not me.
If only you could have been doing simulcast video and radio back then, right? What a gift that would have been to the people.
That would have been it. That's who my wife fell in love with 40 years ago. All right, so college football is here. I know that you guys have probably spent a little bit of time on the new rules and what the impact might be. I mean, it was a small sample last week with 7 games in that ridiculously named Week 0. But we had, I guess they averaged 5 or 6 or 7 less plays a game with the new timing rules where the clock starts, after a first down, or the clock doesn't stop after a first down until the last 2 minutes of the half of the game. What kind of an impact do you expect, especially on the totals, with that with the rule change?
Yeah, I mean, I think on the surface you have to expect it to somewhat decrease scoring. I've talked to numerous professional handicappers throughout the summer, and some guys say that, other guys say it won't have any effect or will take a wait-and-see approach, but I don't see how it's going to increase scoring, right? And you mentioned it. I know it's a small sample size of just like 7 games last week, but the amount of plays were down. That's exactly what you would expect to happen. With that said, though, college football is so much more pass-heavy than it was when you and I started 30-plus years ago when everybody ran the ball.
Yeah.
The clock's going to still stop on incompletions when they step out of bounds on the sideline pass. So I think it wouldn't be as dramatic as it would have been a couple of decades ago, but it's hard to say it's going to increase scoring, and maybe you bump the total a point or two. But, college football totals in general are pretty wide open. I mean, you can get anywhere from 50 to 70 points in a game. But I do think it's something that could bump it down a point or two overall this year.
It's interesting with Alabama, and those of us that follow Alabama so closely, there's been so much talk about Nick Saban's desire to return to a ground-and-pound type attack, and the fact that they don't have whoever ends up playing quarterback is not necessarily the most dynamic one. And they don't have a quarterback that's a Heisman Trophy candidate, let's say that. And the presumed starter, at least week 1, Jalen Milroe, is a quarterback that'll do as much with his legs, if not more, than he will throwing the ball. But Nick Saban's desire just to kind of control the game a little bit more and get back to that kind of attack, great running back room there. You wonder whether or not their totals will come down quickly, because it just seems to be that he's going to be, I'm not saying it's going to go back to the days of winning a game 14-9, but on the other hand, I could see them scoring less points, winning by 20, 25 points in most games, but doing it more under control with a running attack.
Well, Alabama's a good team to talk about this week because they're obviously one of the many huge favorites of 4, 5, 6 touchdown favorites like you get here in week 1. And you can make a case that it's a little more difficult for a big favorite to cover if there's less plays in the game and if the scoring is down a bit. So I think, we're talking totals, but it also comes into play a bit with these big favorites. And maybe that is something that could keep Middle Tennessee within the number. There's really no other way to make an argument for them. And by the way, they're one of the least experienced offenses returning in the nation, but they have a very experienced defense with 9 starters back, guys that played a good amount of minutes last year. So, maybe this is one of those big favorites you stay away for that reason. And the other reason with Alabama is that they have a huge look ahead. Texas on deck. Now, you can make a case it's a bigger game for Texas because it's revenge and it's Sarkisian, but obviously Alabama was fortunate to escape with a win last year as a 3-touchdown road favorite in Austin. And you also have to wonder, do they go a little bit vanilla this week? Why would you possibly risk showing anything offensively against Middle Tennessee? So I think that's a couple reasons why you could make a case for the big dog and the under in that game.
I've already given my listeners Middle Tennessee plus the 39.5 based on not only on that, but the fact that Alabama is going to play a lot of players. I mean, their desire is to settle some things, and they're going to play. They may play 3 quarterbacks in this game. They'll be vanilla, but they want to see how guys are going to perform in the players that are coming in that are new players and so on, and you don't want to be banged up going into that Texas game. So I think you're going to see a lot of bodies out there. Also, Nick Saban has a history of not embarrassing other coaches. Not that Middle Tennessee can't take care of their business. They won last year in Miami. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but they did win in Miami, and they were a 3-touchdown dog in that game. Middle Tennessee will be scrappy defensively, and Alabama wins this game by 4 or 5 touchdowns. It's a walk in the park, but they don't cover 39.5.
Yeah, the thing you worry about with Stockstill, though, is the head coach, and he's been there for a bit now. This is his 18th season with Middle Tennessee. Last year, 4-point dog, and they lose by 37 at James Madison.
Yeah.
The year before that, they played Monmouth, who's not even an FBS team, so we're going to scratch that. The year before, though, in 2020, and obviously 2020 was a weird year, they lost 42-0 at Army as a 3.5-point dog. So They've lost by 37 and 42 in the openers against FCS teams the last few seasons as a dog of less than a touchdown. So they haven't exactly stepped up, and they played Vandy back in 2018. 3-point road dog, they lost 35-7. So Stock still has a terrible record in openers against not even quality opponents, against lesser tier FCS opponents. So, Alabama might not be able to help but win by more than 40. And the other thing I'll point out, too, is if they are using a lot of backups, he still wants to see those guys play, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to necessarily just take a knee. So, yeah, it's an interesting situation here. I've gotten to where, Tom, as you know, I don't like to kind of just play these big dogs and hope they can hang. But I do think there's some concerns with Alabama laying the big number.
Yeah. Well, Middle Tennessee did go to Miami last year, and beat them. So that was a different. Maybe it's an attention thing. Believe me, they know what they're getting into, I suppose, with Alabama. But there you go. So there's both sides of that argument for those of you that want to take Alabama and lay the big points. Auburn also is a big favorite over a UMass team that, coming into the year, a lot of people would say that they're number 133 out of the 133 FBS teams. But hey, they're 1-0 as they proclaimed on their X feed that they are definitely 1-0. But here's a different situation. Now you got Hugh Freeze trying to fire up a fan base that's already fired up. They want to show an awful lot. Got a new transfer quarterback in there. I could see him doing everything in his power to lay the wood to Massachusetts and win this game, 55-10 or something like that. That number went from 39.5, came all the way down to 35 in many places. And, for the flip side of it, and it's funny, the back number on that is 51.5, and they're favored by 35, so they're not expecting much out of UMass. But, I think Auburn will cover that number. I think Auburn will go as large as they can.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting about Week 0, and I'm with you, I'm not a big fan of Week 0 as well. I think it's gimmicky, and you don't get a lot of good matchups, obviously. In fact, this was the ESPN primetime game last week at 6 Central, 7 Eastern, was UMass and New Mexico State. That kind of tells you what you're dealing with Week 0. But, hey, UMass came to play. You're right. They've been one of the worst teams in Division I football for several years at the FBS level. They were 3-37 the previous 4 years, including the last 3 full seasons. They've gone 1-11 straight up. Their only win was against Stony Brook last year. The year before that, it was against Connecticut, who has been just as bad. By the way, I think UConn will be better this year, and I guess maybe UMass is going to be better because they've already matched their win total for each of the past 3 seasons with that 7-point underdog upset last week against New Mexico State. Digging into the box score in that game, they didn't throw the ball much, only had to throw the ball 17 times. They got it done on the ground. They had 2 running backs that combined for over 170 rushing yards. I don't think that'll be the case. You're going to have to throw the ball more, obviously, against Auburn. And one unique thing about Week 0 is it does give some teams, basically 14 teams, 1 game under their belt when you don't have a preseason. Auburn also has Cal on deck on the road next week, so it's a look-ahead spot here as well where they might want to go a little bit vanilla. But getting back to having a game under your belt, everyone thinks that's a huge advantage. Well, that's built into the line. In fact, teams that have a game under their belt playing a team that doesn't, those teams have only gone about 44% against the spread. Now, a lot of times they're favored. They're not a big dog like UMass, but it's not necessarily an advantage. And I think this line's probably a little bit cheaper than it would have been just because UMass did pull that upset last week. So we'll have to see if they're for real or not.
No doubt about it. Steve Merrill with us, Wager Talk TV. And those of you watching on WZZN TV see his smiling face there as well. And WagerTalk.com, the best place to go for the odds. I mean, I used to go to other sites and bounce around to different sites, but, I mean, these odds are constantly changing. They're up to date, and you can get first half, second half spreads, money lines, all kinds of stuff. And WagerTalk.com, a great place, Steve. I think it's becoming the go-to place for everybody, really, to get their lines. It has the movement, the percentage, everything else. So they just do a tremendous job giving us the odds.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a new feature you'll like, Tom, and we were talking about this today earlier on Wager Talk Today. You can click on the openers box on the live odds screen, and it'll show the opening line at every one of those sports books. You don't have to individually click on them, and that's kind of cool to see as well, especially with college football week 1 and NFL week 1, because keep in mind, these lines have been up all summer long in most of the major sports books, and several games have moved 4, 5, 6 points from the openers. So that's another cool feature of the Wager Talk live odds screen at wagertalk.com.
A couple of other games involving SEC teams this weekend. South Carolina, North Carolina, the battle for the Carolinas. This game will be played in Charlotte, North Carolina. Are people forgetting that South Carolina finished the season last year by beating Tennessee bad and by beating Clemson, and they basically got all of their offense back? I'm surprised I can get 2.5 with South Carolina, I feel like the wrong team is favored.
My power ratings make North Carolina about a 4.5 point favorite. So I think that's probably why you see this line where it is. The over has seen some sharp money. They had to worry about that storm. It's going to hit off the coast. It shouldn't be affecting Charlotte on Saturday afternoon. So I think the weather will be not an issue here, obviously. And these are two teams that can put the ball in the air and they can score some points. Now, we talked about the clock not stopping on first downs. Does that slow it down a bit? This over-under has moved up several points, so that has been sharp money. So the over looks like probably the best way to play this game.
And then, of course, on Monday night, LSU and FSU take it on in Orlando, backyard. I have always said LSU fans don't travel great. I mean, I've been to a number of LSU games when they're playing for the SEC championship game in Atlanta, and they just never seem to travel great. I don't know how they'll travel to Orlando for this game. It feels like this will be an FSU home game for all intents and purposes. But FSU gets a couple of points in a game that they won last year. Yeah, there's a revenge factor. I kind of lean towards FSU. What are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they caught a break this being the late game during the week, right? Because the Hurricanes passed through, didn't really hit Orlando too bad. But you do wonder how that affects travel. Obviously you're going to have to be driving there basically from Tallahassee and probably even Baton Rouge if you were thinking about going. So
no, the airport's open. One of my Florida guys told me that the airport's open in Orlando. UCF flew in to the airport last night because they've got their game in Orlando tonight. It's fine there. They're good.
Yeah, and I guess I was thinking people wouldn't have made plans to fly, but I guess they probably had those tickets months in advance. So you're probably right about that. Probably if you're going to fly in, you already had those tickets. So yeah, they caught a break. This could have been pretty bad had it been like the Thursday night game, for example, instead of Monday. Florida State, interesting team to talk about just in general because a lot of people think they can, unseed Clemson as the dominant team in the ACC this year. I think there's definitely some logic behind that. Extremely experienced team. They return 18 starters, but what I like to look at more so is efficiency returning, and they're the 9th most efficient offense, the 11th most efficient defense returning in the country. So balance-wise, this is maybe the most veteran team in college football this year. LSU, the 7th most efficient offense returning. They're only 58th on defense, 15 starters returning. So very similar to the teams that played last year. And as you mentioned, this is a revenge game from that opener. That was a close 24-23 loss for LSU. This one probably goes down to the wire again. And what I will say about big picture from these two teams, if one of them looks good and one of them looks bad, maybe play on that team that doesn't look too good in the next few weeks. I think these are two quality teams, and whoever loses this game, we actually might get some sneaky line value with them going forward the next couple weeks.
And finally, speaking of sneaky, I mean, tonight, Florida, Utah, this is intriguing. The number has been all over the place. Utah opened as a 9.5. I assume that the thought was Cam Rising would be good to go, but he is not going. It shot all the way down to 4.5 at one point in time. It's kind of crept back up a little bit now to 5.5. So I'm seeing across the board. It's still at elevation. It's still or at altitude. It's Utah as a 2-time defending champ in the Pac-12, and Florida's a middling team in the SEC East. Utah, you know what? They better be able to take care of them because what does this say? This tells you why maybe the Pac-12 is dismantled now. But what do you think about Florida getting those kind of points, in this opener tonight?
Well, I mean, first of all, as you said, the line move has been crazy on this. Once again, it's fun to look at the Wager Talk Live odds screen because you can click on the individual sports books or the consensus and see how this line has jumped around for months now. My outright power ratings, with everything equal, would have Utah as a 15.5-point favorite in this game. But, as you said, the quarterback situation kind of keeps this off the card for me. But you do wonder if it's an overreaction. Is it a 10-point difference? Because that's basically what the -5 is now saying versus the -15 had everything been normal. Also a revenge spot, of course, for Utah. 29-26 loss at Florida as a slight favorite last year in that opener. And this is a Utah team that was really good last year. USC finished 11-3. They would have been 11-1 had they not played Utah. In fact, USC outgained every opponent on the season except the 2 games against Utah. So in the stats, USC was 12-0 when you take out the 2 Utah games. And I think USC last year and this year is one of the most explosive offensive teams in college football. So Utah at home in the altitude is the play, but you just don't know the quarterback situation. But is it really worth 10 points? Most likely not.
I just clicked on that openers tab at wagertalk.com on the odds page, and that is cool. I mean, it was 10. Yeah. Most of these hotels had it at 10 on the Open. And explain to the listeners that don't know any better the percentages that you see there, because you'll see the percentages and the tickets and the money, and it looked like when it was at 10, 85% of the tickets, 83% of the money was coming in on Florida, 94% on the under, which is crazy when you looked at it as at the Open. It was 49, 50, somewhere in there points-wise. But just explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, too, these opening lines are usually available at a handful of the bigger books. The limits are extremely low, and the professional bettors will hammer them quickly, and they might move on just a couple bets. So when you see a line drop like that, it's not necessarily heavy public action, but that's where the percentages come in, because you can see where that initial flow is going. And then you look at the game itself still, even though this line has dropped several points, the overall percentage of tickets is at 58%. Money bet is at 69%. So that's kind of a weird dynamic, right? Normally the line doesn't drop when bets and money is coming in on a team. That shows you that this has been moves based on injuries only. So once again, the handicap of this game is, do you really think the backup quarterback situation is worth 5 to 10 points? And it's hard to say in college football, right? Because these are unproven 19, 20-year-old guys. But that's really the situation here. This line has dropped based on perception, not reality of where the bets have been coming.
Over and under now is at 44, which is as low a point total as you ever see in a college game these days. Although tonight's Nebraska-Minnesota game is at 43. I mean, these point totals are really low. So it looks like they're anticipating a low-scoring night tonight. Watch, both these games will go like into the 60s.
Well, and look at the openers again on those, Tom. As you mentioned, Florida opened 50.5 down to 44. Total Nebraska-Minnesota opened 47, now down to 43. In fact, every game of the 4 big games tonight, every line has dropped 2 to 4 points on average. The other 2 dropped 2 to 3 points as well from the opener. So I do think, once again, as we talked about, people are expecting lower scoring games, less plays last week in week 0. But the question becomes, is this now factored into the line when you're losing a field goal or more in every over-under?
So will you have Wager Talk TV shows specific to college and then to the pros, or do you do those together? Explain how people can find you on Wager Talk TV.
Yeah, 15 minutes from now, right when your show ends, I'm jumping on a College Football Today show at Wager Talk TV at 2 Central, so check that out. And more importantly, you can check them out on replay 24/7 all week long, Wager Talk TV on YouTube. I did 4 different standalone individual game previews this week as well, so a ton of college football content. And then, of course, the NFL will start next week, and I'll have my popular NFL Fade the Public video, which I tell you the most public sides each week in the NFL, and fading those long-term have made you some money on the blind. So check out Wager Talk TV on YouTube.
There you go. Steve Merrill has been our guest. ProSportsInfo.com also is where you can find him. Wager Talk TV. Check it out right there. He'll be joining us every Thursday throughout the year. Steve, I appreciate you.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. There you go, Steve Merrill. All right, we're going to break from Corralejo's Mexican Grill. We'll come back with your phone calls, last call for calls. If you want to jump in, you got anything to say about what you've heard today, you can do it next right here on the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air back in studio with us. And Thomas, those temperatures in the summertime starting to rise once again. You want to make sure you're not left out in the heat. You want some cold AC, give Talent Heating and Air a call.
That's right. If you give us a call, we can generally get out there the same day. So we pride ourselves on same-day service.
And what's that number?
256-503-4490.
And if those AC units are giving you the blues and you've already called someone else, never fear, give Talent Heating and Air a call because you guys can still come out.
That's right. We do free second opinions on major repairs and quotes. A lot of times we save our customers thousands of dollars and additionally get their units repaired before the other guy could even get started.
And that number for Talent Heating and Air is?
256-503-4490.
And if you can't give Talent Heating and Air a call, you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
Schedule all your appointment service calls there. Talent Heating and Air. Give them a call or find them online today.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit huntsvillesports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
T-minus 3, 2, 1, Trash Panda Nation, ignite the fun, let's rock it.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back home for the final games of the 2023 season, starting Tuesday, September 5th, as they host the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Tuesday, get here early for one of the final giveaways of the season. The first 1,500 fans through the gates are going home with a Sonny DeShera bobblehead. Get your tickets now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Really is going to be a beautiful day across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We drop into the mid and upper 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. More cloud cover Friday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out, but it does not look like the day or the evening is going to be a complete wash. Temperatures climb into the mid and upper 80s, dropping into the upper 60s through the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
New coordinators. That's as good as money, sir. New quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Same coach.
All right, and you all may be taking the week off, all right, this week, but I'm not.
We are your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by Pond Lehocky Giordano. You know, injuries happen at work all the time in Alabama, so do motor vehicle and slip and fall accidents. And if you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, call my good friends at Pond Lehocky Giordano. They are not just excellent attorneys, but true advocates who will fight for you and know the ins and outs of the legal game. For personalized and dedicated legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or visit pondlehocky.com. I posted that picture of Wolverine Dan earlier in his jersey. A bunch of you have responded to it. You can check that out on the X feed there. And, by the way, Wolverine Dan dropped a little bit of hush money in the fund for the Buckhorn band donation that we're making of $1,000. He chipped in as well, and we really appreciate that, too. And he is on the lines now. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, Tom, after that wonderful lunch, the company was absolutely wonderful, which is your son and the Junkyard Babe. I enjoyed it. I wanted to brag on the restaurant, Tom. Number one, it's super clean. Number two, it has a Coco theme. If anybody's familiar with Coco or has a little baby child like I have, a granddaughter, it's a Disney a show where it's about this family, and the Coco character kind of looks like a skeleton.
Okay.
Yeah, and they got a Coco theme on every piece of furniture in there. My granddaughter's going to love it because we're going to go back there and bring her. She's going to love that. But
these are all hand-painted. Every one of these is original. The tables are all hand-painted originally as well.
So if you're a kid, you got kids that love Coco, that's where you need to take them. Now, let's talk about the grub. I had a beef burrito just smothered in queso sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Was awesome. But I was disappointed with I should have ordered, like you said, you had the queso. Your wife had I believe the chicken queso, and your son had a shrimp and chicken queso. This queso, you don't look like to me. It looked like a papadilla. It looked like half a pizza or a calzone. It looked like a freaking calzone. It was huge, Tom. And my wife loves chicken quesadillas. I'm going back there and getting that quesadilla and knocking it down, Tom. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, the quesadilla shell is incredible. And I had the chicken and cheese quesadilla myself right before the show. And I can't get off of it. You know, there's so many good things on the menu, but every time I come here, I want that chicken and cheese quesadilla. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And, you know, the salsa's fresh. The chips are awesome. It's a quality restaurant, okay? And the serving staff is really nice and very friendly. Tom, you know, I love places like that. So it really sunk home with me. That's the kind of restaurant I want to go back to, which I will go back to. And my little granddaughter's going to go crazy over this Coco theme.
Get the deal tomorrow. Tomorrow, you have $50 worth for $25, and
I think I'm
snag that tomorrow morning.
About that one.
Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, now you can quit talking about the jersey. Okay, let's just move on.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm stunned.
I don't need all that, man. Come on, man.
I'm stunned by you being able to fit into your high school jersey, and I'm stunned by the condition of that thing. 40 years old. Great.
Well, no one ever could touch me. I couldn't get tackled.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
That's exactly what it was, Tom.
All
right.
right.
You see a guy with a bunch of crap on his jersey all busted up. Well, either he's a linebacker or he's a guy that gets tackled all the time, and I didn't.
Yeah. All right.
See you.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Last time I was here, LSU Lynch was here. Oh, Lynch is gone. He was here before. All right, Grumpy will close us out then. Grumpy, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, pretty good, man. Hey, can we make the dog bowl that if you call a sports show, you need to talk about sports?
Yeah, it'd probably be pretty tough on this show, but we could try.
Dan calls in a lot, and he talks about, how great he is, and every once in a while he'll mention sports. Hey, the Dodgers play the Braves for a 4-game series this week, starting tonight. Yeah. If the Braves lose the 4-game series, my argument is they come out on top. Because if they win, if the Braves go in the number 1 seed, they either got to play the Cubs, who beat the Braves this year more than the Braves beat them, or the Phillies, who sat Atlanta down last year and won the World Series. If they get the second place seed, they play the Brewers or the Giants.
Yeah.
So, the Brewers are the division champs in the weakest division in the National League. So
yeah, and the Braves have handled it. They've handled the Brewers pretty good this year too. But I don't know that you're tanking. I mean, they only have a 4-game. You'd have to get swept by the Dodgers, for that to happen.
I'm just saying it's not the end of the world. I'd rather.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I'd rather either play the Brewers or the Phillies. The Cubs I think the Cubs are going to surprise everybody and set Atlanta
15 games better than the Cubs, though. You know what I mean? If they can't be worried about the Cubs. If they're worried about the Cubs.
Head to head, the Cubs beat the Braves more than the Braves beat the Cubs, man.
Is that right this year, Grizz? Did the Cubs beat did they have the series? I don't know if they've had the series yet this year or not. But all right, good job by you. We'll appreciate you, Grumpy, as always. Grumpy jumping in there.
Yeah, he's right, but I don't know if I want to play the Brewers. You got Brandon Woodruff, you got Corbin Burns, you got Freddie Peralta. They got 3 aces too, and their offense is playing really well with Rowdy Tellez.
Doesn't matter who you play though, right now. You're the Braves. You're so much better than everybody else. You can't even be thinking about that. That's the thing. I want to thank the crew here at Corralejos. Excellent as always. Coming up next, it's the Paul Feinbaum Show. Tomorrow, Football Friday. Don't forget, tonight we've got football on our air as well from Milton Frank Stadium with Madison County and Lee. This is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When you call most roofing